In this last tutorial, I'll be showing you how to finish your assemblage. After you have all your layers included, you'll want to start thinking about how to make some areas of your picture show out more, like create emphasis. Right now I've got a spot where I've got all my lights, right in the middle here. I also have the birdhouse, and a couple layers that are within there that are not necessarily part of the birdhouse, but I just want it on top. And then I've got the whole background area. All right. The first thing that we're going to want to do is decide how to change the brightness and darkness of certain pictures to make them stand out more or less. What I want you to do is just select all the layers. So click on the top one, hold shift, click on the bottom. Then I'd like you to raster size them. What that allows you to do is to make edits to pictures that aren't the entire thing, but just particular ones. Next, you can go up to your image adjustments menu and do any of the regular edits that you can do, what we've done in the past using the half white, half black circle, except that they only affect the layer that they're on. A shortcut, because levels is the easiest to use, is to do Control L, and that'll open up the levels box. Now, depending on the layer that you have selected, you can adjust that particular picture. So right now it's this image that's selected right here. So I can adjust the value in that picture, whether I want it to be lighter or darker or have more or less contrast. When I'm looking at the picture as a whole, I think this side is looking a little bit too bright, and some of these images in this area are a little bit too dark. So, being in that Move tool, I can hover over a picture, right-click, and then select the layer. I've got all my groups in the top part here, and then my layer that's in that area. Then I can go to Levels, Control L, and I can adjust the brightness and darkness of the picture. So what I want to do is try to match more of what's on this side of the picture here, so that tree melds in a little bit better. I'm going to do the same over here. Again, I held Control L, adjust the contrast and the brightness and darkness of the picture. Do the same here, and so on. The next key skill that you're going to need to know how to do is change how see-through or visible a layer is. To do that, you'll click on one of the layers that you want to edit. So let's say that this light picture I wanted to edit and have it be a little bit see-through. So I've highlighted that layer, but I can use the opacity to adjust how visible or invisible that layer is. Right, so depending if you want to be able to see through that layer to what's below or have it purely visible, you can decide what you'd like to do with that. Another thing that students will like to do, now that they're doing some finishing touches on their artwork, is to adjust the warp a little bit more on some of the images. And you can do that by, again, having one of the layers highlighted, go Control T, that's the normal transform, but if you right-click on that layer, it opens up a whole lot of other options for you to change things. Warp is one of the popular ones for the assemblage project. With that, I can select different parts of the picture that I'd like to change just by grabbing onto the picture and changing it. Some like to adjust some of the pictures to be able to cover over the edges a little bit more. You can decide what you want to do with that. I think I'm kind of more of a standard straight pictures kind of person, so having the edges real straight and having them kind of lined up that way. If you would like to do an edit to the entire artwork, you just want to do edits the way we've normally done them, using the half white, half black circle. You can do levels or curves or hue saturation, depending on what you want to do. So let's just throw levels in there, and you can adjust the contrast of the entire image, how bright or dark it is. This would be another opportunity if you wanted to, just like paint in darkness in some parts of the picture. You could do so just by, creating a new layer. Let's just do this while we're at it. I'll just use the paint bucket and do a layer mask and add in kind of a vignette along the edges. one's pretty dramatic. I don't know if I like that too much. But I can also just do that and then adjust the opacity of the entire layer to have it just be real gradual. But that can make it so that I notice more what's in the middle of the image a bit more. That I could even go back in with my brush, really large brush, and just paint a little more of this away. So black paints away things on a layer mask, white keeps them there. And that helps to draw our attention a little bit more right into the middle of the frame, rather than it being so bright on the edges. All right. So after you've had a chance to really look closely at your assemblage and you like the way everything looks, and you've got your 25 layers, you've worked with editing, both color and contrast and values, you can call it good if you like how the arrangement of all your layers looks.